Hello everyone and welcome to the Cambridge at Math course for Cambridge CIE 0606. Today we will be covering chapter 3 factors of polynomials. The first thing according to the syllabus is the remainder theorem, which can be simplified to essentially this expression, which states that if a polynomial f of x is divided by some x minus a, then the remainder is f of a. So basically, if we convert this into numbers and we say f of x is equivalent to 16, so like 16 divided by 2, let's say, is 8. So we can say x minus a is the 2, and so f of a is the 8. um, Sorry, f of a will be 0 here because this is 8, remainder 0. So essentially f of a is just the remainder of the thing. So like if I had some expression, let's say x squared plus x plus 1, and that is equal to f of x, and I input f of 1 here, that will be 1 squared plus 1 plus 1, which is 3. So I can say that f of x, um, yeah, f of x over x minus 1 is equal to 3. Uh, Basically, so as you can see here, x squared minus 3x plus 2 over x plus 1 is f of minus 1. We have to take the opposite of that essentially. And so when we actually do the full long division, this is what we get. So x squared is x into x, so we get that x squared, and then multiply that by 1, you get x. So x squared, basically we're multiplying x into x plus 1 to get this, uh, and then you do normal division, so this comes minus 4x plus 2 multiplied by negative 4, and we get remainder of 6. You can just do it manually by substituting, and that gives the same thing here. We come over to the factor theorem, which is basically, these two are sort of similar to each other, but basically that says if f of a is equal to 0, which is the remainder is 0, then f of x is equal to g of x times x minus a. So essentially what we've got here is 16. One second. So if you've got 16, and let's say we divide it by 2, we get 8, remainder 0. So essentially what that says is we can express this as 16 is equal to 8 multiplied by 2, where 8 is g of x. And we can obviously find that by just doing the division here as shown here at the bottom here. So if we take this example for polynomials, we can say f of 1 is 0. So f of x is equal to x minus 1 into g of x, and then g of x is just rearranging that, gives us that. And if you do the division here, this is x minus 2. Polynomial division is pretty much simple, like similar to actual long division that you would do with numbers. Just so it can seem daunting at first, but it's not that difficult. Moving on, we have factoring, which is really simple. You just get an expression, you find whatever you can take out of the brackets, such as this, because 3 is common here for both terms, and then you just get this, and this can't be simplified any further. Same thing for quadratics, as we had discovered in earlier chapters. You can factor quadratics to look like this, and then obviously you can solve them later on. Right, now moving on to cubic equations, we will learn how to solve them and, well, essentially factor them. Factoring is obviously you factor an equation and factor an expression, equate it to 0 to find the roots. So if we take this cubic equation, for example, the first thing we have to do is find the factors of the constant term, which are listed here. And then we check basically for each of these factors where the remainder is 0. This is sort of a difficult process, I mean long process, but usually you'll get the answer either plus minus 1 and plus minus 2 for most numbers. So after we've done that, obviously we find out that f of minus 1 gives us 0. So x plus 1 will be a factor of f of x by these theorems. And then we do something, this is called synthetic division. Obviously you can also do long division. You can show that process here. Well, let's say x cubed plus 10x squared plus 27x plus 18 divided by x plus 1. So we take x squared, gives us x cubed plus x squared, gives us 9x squared plus 27x. Take 9x, gives us 9x squared plus 9x. This will give us 18x plus 18, and we take 18 here. 18x plus 18 gives us 0. Alright, so you've proved that long division. Now let's come to synthetic division. And basically, this here is the coefficient of x cubed, coefficient of x squared, x, and then the constant term. And so basically we got x is equal to -1 here, and we'll put a 0 here because we know that if this one, f of x, had the highest power of x cubed, then the highest power here will actually be x squared because this is a linear. So x cubed is equal to x into x squared, and since we've already found the linear and we're finding the quadratic, this will have to be 0 for x cubed. So we put the 0 here, and here we subtracted right here. This is subtraction. Instead here we're going to add. So 1 plus 0 is 1, and then we do this where we multiply these two to give us this number. So that gives us -1, add, and you get 9. And -1 in 9 is -9, add and you get 18. 18 into -1 is -18. 18 minus 18 is 0. And so because this is our remainder, this is actually the x squared term, the x, and then the constant. So just write x bar 0 here. And so this is our quadratic. We can just factor the quadratic, and then this is our final factored form, and then we can equate it to 0 to get x is -1, -3, and -6. So that's about it for this chapter. If you have any doubts, there will be a link for a Discord server for those doubts in the course section there, so you can join that whenever you feel like it. Thank you.